I call this the Tuesday, September 12th, 2017 meeting to order. It is 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We've just heard the invocation and the pledge. Thank you, Mr. Moody, for doing that. Mr. Johnston, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Councilmember Stringer.
Here.
Councilmember Jackson.
Here.
Councilmember Moody.
Here.
Councilmember Cooley.
Here.
Councilmember Key.
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Here. Thank you guys so much for all being here during the time. Some of you guys don't have power, and I appreciate you making above and coming to this meeting tonight, Mr. Cooley and Mr. Stringer. You got emailed to you the minutes from the August 22nd, 2017 regular city council meeting. Those were emailed to you as well as given a hard copy. Does anybody have any changes or anything they'd like to amend? With none being brought forth, I need a motion to approve those minutes and a second, please.
I make that motion.
Mr. Key made that motion. Mr. Cooley seconded it. Thank you, guys. At this time, would the Finance Committee met, and when the Finance Committee met, they come up with three recommendations. I apologize. Mr. Stringer is going to introduce 2017-272. Then Mr. Johnston is going to read the recommendation as is. So will you do start with 2017-272? But first, I need a motion that we suspend the rules and ordinances for this. Mr. Jackson.
Mayor Copeland, I offer a motion that we suspend the rules for the ordinance of the resolution.
Mr. Jackson made a motion that we suspend the rules. Can I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Moody. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Moody.
Yes.
Councilmember Cooley.
Yes.
Councilmember Key.
Yes.
Councilmember Stringer.
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson.
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. All right. Mr. Stringer, will you please introduce 2017-272, please?
Mr. Mayor, we need Mr. Stringer to make a recommendation from the city council first.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please.
The City of Smith Station Finance Committee met September 5th, 2017. A contract for service and memorandum of understanding with permissible intercept service. B, contract for service with LexisNexis. C, conversation of professional service from the city attorney, Richard Chancey. The Financial Committee recommends to the City Council to approve and adopt Resolution 2017-272, authorizing Mayor Copeland to enter into a contractual agreement with permissible intercept service. Resolution 2017-273, authorizing Mayor Copeland to enter into a contract agreement with LexisNexis and increase the compensation for professional service performed by City Attorney Richard Chancey to the amount of $175 per billable hour.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Stringer. Mr. Johnston.
Need a second on that recommendation, please, Mr. Mayor.
Seconded by Mr. Cooley. Roll call vote.
Yes. Councilmember Jackson.
Yes.
Councilmember Moody.
Yes.
Councilmember Cooley.
Yes.
Councilmember Key.
Yes.
Councilmember Stringer.
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. All right. 2017.
Authorizing the mayor to enter into a contractual agreement with LexisNexis.
All right. Mr. Johnston, will you please introduce?
Yes, sir.
Read that recommendation.
Resolution 2017-272, a resolution for the City of Smith Station, Alabama, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contractual agreement with LexisNexis Risk Solutions to assist in the collection of debt from citizens of the City of Smith Station, Alabama, and/or the state of Alabama.
You've heard this introduction of the resolution 217-272. Can I get a first and a second before we have any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Cooley, second.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Jackson. Or is there any discussion on LexisNexis? With none being brought forth, I call for the vote.
Councilmember Cooley,
Yes.
Councilmember Key,
Yes.
Councilmember Stringer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Moody,
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. Mr. Johnson, will you introduce 2017-273, please?
Yes, sir.
B2.
Time out. So go ahead. You go ahead. What you got?
Oh, no, who going to introduce that?
Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Okay.
Okay. You want-
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Okay, all right. All right, 2017-273, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contractual agreement with Missile Intercept Service.
All right, I'm sorry. Now, Mr. Johnson, forgive me.
A resolution for the city of Smith Station, Alabama, authorizing the mayor to enter into a contractual agreement with Municipal Intercept Services to assist in the collection of debt from citizens of the city of Smith Station, Alabama, and/or the state of Alabama.
All right, you've heard the introduction of 2017-273, enter into a municipal agreement with Municipal Intercept Services. Can I hear a motion and a second before we have any discussion?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Key, can I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Moody. Can we have any discussion about Municipal Intercept Services? With no discussion being brought forth, I call for the vote.
Councilmember Key,
Yes.
Councilmember Stringer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Moody,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooley,
Yes.
Mayor Copeland.
Yes. Mr. Stringer, will you introduce 2017-274?
2017-274, revise the compensation for professional service performed by City Attorney Richard L. Chancey.
You've heard that. Could you introduce that, please, Mr.
I'm going to
Johnson?
read this one in its entirety.
Okay.
Resolution 2017-274, a resolution for the city of Smith Station, Alabama, revising the compensation for professional services performed by Richard L. Chancey on behalf of the city, acting as city attorney for the city of Smith Station, Alabama. Whereas the city of Smith Station, Alabama is committed to providing the highest possible services to its citizens, and whereas the city of Smith Station, Alabama has a professional and fiduciary obligation to the city to defend itself, and whereas Mr. Richard L. Chancey has been appointed by Resolution 2003-035 as city attorney, and whereas Mr. Richard Chancey has been compensated for his expertise, professionalism, and dedication to the city of Smith Station at the same rate as initially agreed upon. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Smith Station as follows. Section 1. The city approves and endorses all provision listed hereafter. Number 1, the city shall compensate Mr. Richard L. Chancey the amount of $175 per billable hour as legal counsel for the city of Smith Station, Alabama. Number 2, the city shall reimburse Mr. Chancey for any professional expenses incurred while representing the city. Number 3, the city shall sponsor Mr. Chancey to attend at least one educational seminar related to municipal governing annually. All resolutions or parts of resolutions heretofore adopted by the City Council of the City of Smith Station, Alabama that are inconsistent with the provisions of this resolution are hereby repealed. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of Smith Station, Alabama that this ordinance become effective immediately upon adoption and approval pursuant to Code 1145-8, Code of Alabama 1975 as amended.
All right, guys, you've heard the introduction. Can I hear a first and a second, and we'll have a discussion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mr. Cooley, seconded by Mr. Key. Are there any comments?
The only comment I guess I have, Mayor Copeland, is, all the years that I sit on this council, this is the first time I ever remember this coming up. But anyway, this is something that is, I think we needed to do, and we just appreciate Mr. Chancellor for doing it for us here at Smith Station.
Absolutely. I want to piggyback on what you said and say I'm almost embarrassed to think that he's only charged $100 a year since 2003. I'm $100 an hour since 2003. He is a Smith Station person. He was born and raised in this city, a graduate of Smith Station, come back home to practice in Smith Station. He loves the city. He has nothing selfish about it. And the going rate for city attorneys is $250. He is happy with $175. That speaks to his character. I thank you guys so much for approving this, and I thank him for his friendship, his recommendations, and keeping us out of trouble. Anybody have any other comments they'd like to say?
I guess we need to vote on this, is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Call for the vote.
Councilmember Stringer?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Moody?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooley?
Yes.
Councilmember Key?
Yes.
Mayor Copeland?
Yes. Any public comments at this time? We have public comments. Anybody would like to share their heart? With none being so, I have a few things I'd like to cover. We were affected greatly by Hurricane Irma this past week, the last 2 days actually, and it has put a great strain on our city. We still have people as of right this moment without power. I want to commend our first responders. Yesterday on my phone, I haven't been given the privilege by the fire department to get the 911 calls that come into the city, and it killed my battery. From about 2 to 5, it was just repeatedly. I sat down in my office and had a little prayer for the first responders because they were out in the middle of it. I got a phone call yesterday afternoon from the sheriff of Lee County. I commend him. He called everybody home. He said there'll be no 911 responses until this dies down. And I commend him for making that decision. That's what leaders do. And he called everyone home until the wind subsided and people could get out because it was unsafe. They had a tree what fell on a bucket truck up in North Lee County, and it had gotten too dangerous. Then I want to also commend the power company who has gone above and beyond to call Mississippi Power, thank you, Tallapoosa Power, thank you, Mobile Power, thank you, and Alabama Power. Thank you all for going above and beyond to help the citizens of the city of Smith Station. At this point in time, we still have 3,500 residents without power. They're doing their dead level best, I promise you. But thank you, Lord, for not allowing us to have one death in the Smith Station through 45 to 75 mile per hour winds in our city. We're not built for that. But we were able to survive, and I thank all the first responders, all the power company, and I thank you, City Council, for also keeping everyone amends. And I want to call one person out as well, our planning and zoning person, as well as our PR person, Lisa Deason, went above and beyond on our Facebook to keep people informed and let them know what was going on. Facebook has become a very, very valuable tool. I'd be safe to say it's more important than the news at this point in time because everybody looks at it. And she kept everyone informed on our city Facebook page as to what was going on. So if you're not on our city's webpage, it's Facebook, City of Smith Station Facebook. Join that and you'll keep up with our current updates. Also, I'd like to commend the waste management because they could not work yesterday. They're going to have to work this Saturday and they have no problems. And I'd also like to tell our citizens, if you have debris, please cut it to 4 foot and put it at your road. Waste Management has agreed to go above and beyond their contractual duties to help us as a city. But do not wait till May of next year to call me and say, we have debris from the storm. You need to get it done in the next month. They're going to do that. So with that being said, I'd like to recognize the media, Mr. Josh Harp, for coming, and the cable TV of East Alabama. Does any of the council members have anything they'd like to share before we?
One thing, Mayor Copeland, I'd like to give you this envelope here. This is $300 worth of donations for bricks for the Jones Store project.
Well, thank you so much. For those of you that don't know, we have a Jones Store brick project that is going to commemorate people. Put your name out there in the bricks. That's where we're at on that to finish our Jones Store project, which is already beautiful to begin with now. So thank you, Mr. Cooley, for bringing that forward. Anybody have anything else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move that this meeting be adjourned.
Mr. Jackson moved to be adjourned. A second.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Cooley. Meeting adjourned.